After years and years of reduced services and duct tape budget fixes, we now have $21 million in the bank. With a plan to restore all services and upgrade the city's power infrastructure, people are starting to see Ashland as a place worth investing in again. So it's finally time to build a proper downtown, dense, walkable, and anchored by a fountain that absolutely isn't compensating for anything whatsoever. Let's jump in. Alright, welcome back to Ashland, and first things first, we're going to pay off our loan. Right now it's costing us $32,000 per month, and we're going to make a little bit of extra money just by paying this off early. And we have done it. It feels so good not to be enslaved to this loan anymore. Next up, let's turn our trams back on. Right now they've been off for, almost 2 years in-game, and that should fix that. Then, let's go over to our geothermal power plant, because we are going to add some upgrades to this, and I want to make sure we're doing this kind of the right way. So right now, an additional turbine could generate anywhere from 0 to 100 megawatts, and it's going to cost us $375,000. The upfront cost is not what I'm worried about, it's the upkeep of $100,000 per month. So let's take a look and see how much service trade we have with our electricity. About 98,000. So we need to at least get 198,000 to break even. Oh wow, and that changed a lot quicker than I thought it would. Right now we're at 179,000. Can we just get a tiny bit higher, please? No, don't go down. Do not go down. Go up. I want this to make us money, not cost us money. Go up. What? Wow. 411,000? Seriously? That's insane. That's a massive profit for us. Is that actually what we're getting? 400,000? Did it just spike for some random reason? Okay, and it seems to have stabilized around 400,000. And if that's the case, I think we might add our second upgrade as well. So this will cost 37,500 per month and should generate anywhere from 0 to 50 megawatts. So we just need to make up more than 37,000. Let's add this on. 537,000. If it stabilizes there, we're in a really good place. So while this stabilizes, I'm going to make sure everything's connected up here. Make sure there's no bottlenecks in terms of our electricity. So these are all connected. This one branches off into here. Yeah, it's definitely not the most beautiful design, but it definitely works. Our garbage issue isn't all that bad. But if it gets worse by the end of this episode, I think we might place an incinerator. We'll have to unlock it, but I think it'd be worth it. And we could probably place it right over here. I want to come over here, and really there's a few key areas that need to be developed. And the first one is this area right here. I think this would be really easy to develop and buy, but I want to focus on that a bit later. And for now, I actually want to plan out what this is going to look like. So I envision this area to be a lot more gritty than the rest of our developments have been so far. And this is probably the most gritty we've gotten. And I like it. It's a grid, but it's a nice curve. So it doesn't feel too square or boxy. And honestly, all of this is a grid. It just doesn't have that super traditional square or rectangle feel. This one, I do want to have somewhat more of that feel. And first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna grab. I was thinking about grabbing a 2-lane, but I might go with a 4-lane divided road with trees and parking, just to plan for this up front. Because I'm gonna have to upgrade it down the line anyways, so I might as well just do it right now. And then I'm gonna turn on ground, we'll add the grass and the trees, and then we'll turn on constant slope, just to make sure everything's nice and even here. And we're gonna send this. Let's go 50, and I wonder how far away from this is it. So it's about 16 units from the shore, and I think that's gonna work. Then from here, what I wanna do is, and this is gonna be kind of like a 3-staged process, but from here, I just wanna send this, let's say, right about here. And this is kind of like the foundation. I do want to change it up in the future before we, or maybe even after we do zoning, because Right now, this is just one super straight, long road. And I don't mind that, but I think it'll look nicer if we add just a small amount of variation. Like for example, like it doesn't need to be that specifically. Obviously that one really stands out as kind of like a poor choice. It doesn't really look very good, but I hope you get what I mean. It's probably gonna make zoning a pain, which is why I'm gonna do it after all of the zoning. We're going to grab one full circle out. We'll do our 2-lane road with trees and parking, and we're gonna send this up. And I think we're gonna go 10 units by 20. Gives nice big lots, which I kind of like because this will be our very dense downtown. And then I'm just going to send this all the way across. And then from here, I'm going to send this up another 10, 20, and kind of build up just a bit. I want to get an idea of where these limits are. So if we're going to buy tiles, it's probably going to be these. Maybe these ones as well, but we might hold off on that one. But I know we'll need these ones no matter what if we want to do development. I guess kind of this one too right now. We can send this up and we'll have tons of room. Okay, and then right here, we have a clear little hill. So I don't think we're going to blast through this. We kind of already did. And it's not really a big hill, but I still want to respect it if I can. And that means no unnecessary blasting through it, at least for where we are right now. If we're plopping a high density building on here, then yeah, definitely we'll tear right through this, but we're not. So we're going to do a little bit of a curve. There we go. And that gives us a nice little foundation. Now I want to think about over here. So to achieve a different look for our grid, we're going to vary it up just a bit. And I'm thinking maybe we will pull from right about here. We're going to build this out and see where this takes us. So we'll go 10 up and then 20 over. And yeah, that just gives us just a bit too much. So let's pull this down. And then from here, delete that road. And let's go a bit further back. And now I'm going to delete this again, kind of just to serve as a guidepost. And I'll connect these two in. We're going to send this out 20 more. Now I need to build these two up just a bit more, or I guess these three. It'll help me get an idea of where this is going. There we go, finally. I was fighting with that. It was trying so hard not to be a perfect grid, but now it's 20 units across, which is perfect grid, nothing to worry about. And it's a bit unfortunate. It looks like it's just slightly off. I really wanted this to be more flowy than that. In worst case scenario, we just go like this instead, and that still works. It still does break it up a bit, but I was hoping that this would connect more naturally. So I could either send this up and it would be somewhere here and curve in, but it doesn't want to do it, so it's fine. Okay, now from here, we're going to follow the same principle that we followed for our suburbia. We're going to grab this straight point right here, pull it down, I guess 8, and then go over. And then we're going to pull this all the way down. And I got to be careful because I have constant slope on, so I'm going to turn it off for now. I'm going to pull this all the way down until we start to curve. So we start to curve right here because you can see it's overlapping. So I'm just going to pull it a few units before then. Then down here, I'm just going to grab really anywhere, it doesn't matter. Pull that 8 units, go over. I'm going to do the same thing so I can meet up with this one. There we go. And that's kind of our outline road, I guess, if you can call it that. I don't think it's a really good name for it, but whatever. Now I'm going to curve along here into this road. I don't think it's going to look very nice, but we'll see. Yeah, there we go. It's not amazing, but it's not awful either. Now from here, I'm going to send these all the way up. And now I just want to send these ones out as well. And the goal is just to create a super mega grid, I guess. And then right here, we have a clear elevation difference. I wouldn't say it's anything too big or anything to worry about, but it does make me think about changing it up just a bit. A bit of this will be reworked as we actually do our zoning, but I still want to have a good foundation in. And I'm thinking I want to get some differences happening here. And I'm seeing this right here as an opportunity for either a little pond or I guess a retention pond. Honestly, I just want something to kind of shake it up a bit. So we'll do something like that. Oh man, that is one ugly pond. Yeah, it should do the trick though. And I found that I really like the automated water source lately. It typically doesn't give me any problems. And right click to where we want the surface elevation to be. So we'll say right about there. We'll set it there. And let's speed this up. Okay, it was definitely a bit higher than I intended. And we can definitely see we're spilling out a bit. So let's try and do a little bit of work here. And I've never been good with this. It's always kind of scared me a bit, but I don't want it to be a perfect circle anyways. I'd like to see a bit of variation. Maybe something like that, and then we can use all this new soil we have to fill this in. And then from here, I just want to take the brush strength down, and just smooth this out. And I'm leveling. Okay. Okay, now I want to smooth it out. Really, I just want to make it seem like it's not so man-made. And I regret this decision so much. It looks so bad. The only redeeming thing is if there was a bridge over it. For absolutely no apparent reason. There we go. Yeah, this is peak design, guys. So, yeah, and nothing happened here. You didn't see anything. I didn't see anything. No one's seen anything. The only thing I see right here is that we have this clear contour line that we could probably follow. So let's try this. And yeah, I definitely like that. It breaks it up. It feels a bit, I don't know, fancy almost? I don't know if fancy is the right word, but I do like it. It almost looks like it might need to be proper through road, but we can't really connect to this. That would be a massive hazard to here. So I don't think I'll worry about it for now. Now I want to do something up here, and I don't want this to be kind of just gridded through. I hate when grids are made on really steep land. I just think it looks bad. And it's funny because in this case, when I say that, it doesn't look all that bad. Over here it does. As we approach this land, I want to change up the style just a bit. We'll come along this top contour line and create a road, something like that. But first, let's send this up so we can get something that's straight. There we go. It breaks up the monotony, and you can have different things here, either a giant park or amenities, really whatever your heart desires. And from up here, we're just going to follow the same standard pattern. And we have hit milestone 17. Not too bad. I think it gives us just a loan limit, right? Because everything else after this is just a loan limit. Awesome. That's what you want to see. Just more loan limits. Okay, then there's really two strategies here, and it just depends on how I'm thinking about developing this. So I guess I didn't really explain my vision very clearly. I see this as being like a very, very big kind of gridded out, dense downtown area, or maybe that'll be more over here, but I could see this area kind of calming down just a bit and moving into more row homes or kind of medium-sized apartment buildings. So for this area, I do want the grid to be very heavy because I think it's going to look really nice once it's all done. Until it's done, it's probably going to look a bit off, but that's what I'm going for. And it's easier for me to say that than for other people to envision what I'm saying. And I'm going to stop talking. It doesn't make any sense. We'll see. We'll all see eventually. So yeah, like I was trying to get at is there's two options, and it depends on how I see this area. I could start building grids from this angle to break it up a bit, or I can keep going with these straight lines. I'm tempted to try the grid off of this angle first. And then I want to make sure this curves in nicely. And that's not exactly a nice curve, but it's not an ugly one either. It's somewhere in the middle. Then from here, I don't want to come down this small little hill, because I think it's just a bit boring. I think I'll want to connect in right here. So I'm going to grab our road and we're going to pull this down to right about there. And then we'll use our curved road tool and just snap right in. There we go. And that breaks it up a decent amount. And then from here, it's pretty much the same. Yeah, it looks okay. For the roads, I'm worried this road would create a big bottleneck. Everyone wants to come in here, everyone also want to leave from here as well. So maybe we need to alleviate that with another road. I don't exactly know this is the best one though. Also at the same time, one could be sent 10 units away, or roughly, it doesn't have to be perfect, and then up into this road. And that's actually a better fit than this one right here, only due to the fact that this was kind of just like a instant stop road. This one actually has some through motion, and I think that's looking okay so far. I'm not going to worry about the interchange right now because it's going to trip me up if I do. I think for right now, I want to make sure there's water and power. So let's grab our electric cables and just send them across here. And the same thing with water and sewage. And the key thing is for power, I don't think this would be enough. I think this area would probably need its own transformer station. I kind of like the idea of using the France electrical substation. It kind of has like a old feel. And honestly, I don't know why, but I feel like it could work just like somewhere right here. Okay, and that was much more difficult than I wanted it to be. But then from here, just going to turn our zoning length off, and from right here just pull directly in. And there's two options. I guess there's three. We could connect, kind of into our power station, or we could just connect into our main lines. I think I'm just going to connect into the main line. There we go, and I kind of like the decision. Again, still a little more detailing to be done. Add some decals, maybe improve this parking lot. Right now the parking lot looks a bit rough, but you know what, it's fine. I don't want to spend any more time on that. But I'm liking this all so far. I want to start thinking about some of the buildings that are going to go in here. And I guess I can't because we don't own the tile. So let's do that first. Let's buy all of our tiles. And I might build up the interchange either this episode or the next one. But for now, I just want to finish it off by zoning some stuff out. Okay, so these are all the tiles we're going to need. So we're going to use 6 permits. It'll cost us $130,000 per month, which is just insane. To think that it's only been one episode and we can finally say, yeah, $130,000 per month, not a problem. And upfront, $2.3 million or $2.4 million. Yeah, all this is great. Let's get her in. And boom, from $120,000 right down to $30,000. Yeah, it hurts, but I have a feeling as long as we get enough density in here, we should be fine. Plus, I don't want to make too much money anyways. Now, I'm tempted to do a few things, but before I do any of those things, let's give this a district. We have Birch Springs. Actually, that's not a bad name. Birch Springs, Cedar Heights, Pinecrest, Woodland. Yeah, that's not that bad of a name. I don't like the Springs part, but Birch... Birch what? Okay, so I'm gonna call it Birch for now, because I can't think of anything. I like the idea of having Birch something. I just don't know what. I thought about calling it Birchwood, or I don't know. I should just stop. I'm ahead right now, and if I explain any further, I'm just gonna get behind. So, Birch it is. If you have a better name, feel free to share it. Happy to implement it. Now, I'm going to add in some services here before I do anything. And this is scary. This is scary. I've been in a budget slump for how long? But we're gonna do it. We're going to do it. We're not going to worry. Let's go crazy. Okay, so I'm thinking we have this nice big area right here. And an elementary school would fit in really well. I'm thinking, oh wow, the urban elementary school is so small. And this is so massive. I'm tempted to go with the urban elementary school. It'll fit in more with this look anyways. If I place it here, there could be a bunch of parks in the background, so it doesn't need to feel overly urban. Let's just get the school in first. So I think I'm gonna place it right here in the middle. So we have more students and we have the urban playground. Definitely more students, makes sense. How much does it cost? $5,000 a month, that's a joke. Easy. And for the playground up top, I don't know how much I love the look of this. I think it's cool and unique. It's just not something I've ever really seen. And then from here, what about that park at the back? It could just almost fit. It would be a bit of a squeeze though, so maybe we won't do that. This building was formerly barracks, and now it's a dynamic space housing offices, restaurants, and exhibition areas. And it's a large central hall that provides a versatile space for dining and gathering. I think this could actually be unique and different in a way that could work for the elementary school. So I'm going to add it in. This kind of reminds me of something that I've seen in the past where it was almost like it was a local farmer's market for the school, and the students used to walk across the street to go there. And is this an actual path? Because if it is, we're going to connect this in. Yep, it is. Yeah, I think that's going to be interesting. I definitely think that will. And then from here, I'm going to drag this all the way over. And now I'm going to pull the school back just a bit. Kind of lines up just a bit, but I think it's going to work. I think it's going to look nice. Now I like the idea of black roofs better, so I'm going to add those in. We also need to add in some medical, and I think this is going to be our best bet. This one will probably fit the nicest, and we want it to be somewhere central with good access, but not somewhere that'll dump too much traffic. So this road's kind of our through road right now, so not on this one, but maybe on this one right here. I think we'll go with this medical clinic, and we're going to place it right here. And do we have any upgrades? Yes, we do. Extra capacity, 3,500 a month. 3,500 a month, and we get 120 patient capacity. Done. You got yourself a deal. Now I want some parking for normal people, because it would be a nightmare to not have some form of parking at the hospital. Yeah, and this is what happens when you don't pre-grade. So I'm going to re-add these roads in. And that should do the trick for the most part. And then right here, I mean, come on, obviously there's some room for some parks. Can I snap onto here? I can, interesting. Ooh, wait, this is perfect. Does this, I made it too long. I should have thought about this. I can go like this, and that works too. Same thing on this side. And then I want to switch it up here if I can. And then every hospital I've ever been to always has this little section for smokers. Just a bunch of chairs. I mean, it looks better than I thought it would, that's for sure. I think I'd expect this to be some form of grass, but it's fine. I'm gonna get rid of this surface and this one, and then it's gonna drag out this one all the way over. Yeah, and that works. I actually really like that a lot. The only thing I don't like is how these two surfaces are different. And I pretty much did that in the most difficult way possible. So, yeah, let's just move on. I really like this for some reason. I don't know why, but I really, really like it. I can't believe I thought I was going to hate that. We have healthcare. We have our elementary school, high school. Let's go high school now. And I want to use a lot of northeast assets for this build. So I think maybe something like this. Even like right here is a pretty good place for it. If we center it right along this road, I think that's going to be really nice. Now the only thing I don't like is that it is a through road. Yeah, I don't really like that. But it is a high school, so I can forgive a high school more than I can forgive an elementary school. So I think I'm going to do it. Yeah, I'm just going to do it. And then what's our upgrades? Only 800 students. This one's 10,000 per month for only 500 capacity. So I'll upgrade this only if I have to. And again, I want to see some sort of park here. I guess they have these ones. It's not all that bad. At the very least, I want to see these surfaces stretched out. Yeah, I think for now, I'll leave it at that. Maybe there's some more detailing to be done later on. So next up is death care. Definitely need death care. And I honestly just hate this cemetery asset now. I've used it so much, and it's yeah. I would honestly rather just see crematoriums. I have an idea, and I think I'm gonna place it right here. I'm gonna bump both these roads back. First, we'll delete this. Then we'll put this one right in the middle. Actually, I was thinking about having two here, but we'll probably just add upgrades instead of two. And I want to see, did I give myself enough room to actually add in some upgrades. Yes, but not as many upgrades as I'd like to see. Ideally, I have just enough room to add one of these behind here. It'd be nice to add one on the side, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I'll pull this back just a bit more. There we go. That's perfect. That gives us a lot of room to expand. I'll also add the key walls to this side as well. So that's death care, and I'm going to set this to only operate in Birch. Same with our high school, same with our medical clinic, and our elementary school. Okay, now we need fire and police. For fire, I think we're going to unlock the next stage. So let's go with fire stations. And all I want to see is there, yes, there is a Northeast Fire Headquarters. 100K a month, that's a bit pricey. 7 fire engines, 7 bays housing. Well, we get the helipad extension, and I think that's going to be key. So we're definitely going to add this in as well. So maybe right here. And then the helipad upgrade is 17,500 per month. That's it. It's honestly not that bad. We're going to keep it tame for now. If we still have budget left over, I definitely want to add that in. And I love the look of this building. Like, even look at the roof. It's so detailed. Then last but not least, I think at least, is our police. So do we have the Northeast? No, we have the Southwest. Oh yeah, this is our Northeast building. But it only, oh wow, it actually has a decent amount of capacity. I still think we're going to go with the Southwest police station. It's probably going to be a better fit. So let's add it in right about here. In terms of upgrades, we have jail capacity, patrol cars. It already comes with 17 vehicles, so I don't think we're going to need more patrol cars. Then from there, all that's left is transportation. I don't know so much that we're going to do transportation this episode, but I do want to have a key spot open for a bus station. So maybe we'll mark this out so I don't zone it. Maybe a bus station could go... I'd want it to be somewhere centralized, and this is a pretty central location. I think it would have to front Chestnut Street, just because this is, again, is our through road. Let's add this in. And it makes sense to have some sort of postal office here, or post office, but the problem is we already have all these services right here. But if I put it too far away, then it wouldn't really serve the community very well. So I'm thinking maybe right here, or even along here, like somewhere like right here. Yeah, that should work. And I'm just gonna delete these trees. And then while we're still on the topic of post offices, I'm gonna add in some key locations to pick up mail. There we go, and this should do the trick until I get some feedback from the residents about what their problems are. If they complain about mail service, then I'll add some more closer to them. Okay, now pretty much the last thing is just some sports park complexes. I really wanted to add these in, I just haven't yet. And I think this right here would be a pretty good location for them. And then maybe the sports hub pavilion right beside it. And I think that's kind of all we can get. Or maybe a basketball park or even a pool. But I think we could have the pool on this side. And then a basketball center right about here. And then let's see, is there anything else we can get in here? Maybe a dog park? I am so tempted to place this. I've been wanting to place this forever. I love this asset. How much is it? 80,000 a month? 80,000 a month? I think I might just do it. I think I might just do it and place it right in the middle. But I feel like this will be the straw that broke the camel's back. I'm gonna try it anyways. And what is this asset gonna need to be happy? Right there. Oh, it's so nice. It's so nice. Once it plays too, it does this little animation. Easily one of the best assets in this game. And this will need some proper detailing later. All right, now let's start right near this fountain because it's honestly the part that excites me the most. I'm thinking we'll want something of decent size. And this wouldn't be the first thing that was developed here. This probably would have came a long time after. I think something like that, but I'd maybe want to see a step down. So something like this instead. I want to make sure we have nice varying heights here. And I also want to make sure there's space between buildings. So maybe we'll do something like this. And then we could have a few row homes there to split it up. We could go with something a bit more substantial. And now what I really want is height. So let's get some height going on here. And that's just a bit too much height. I don't think that's what we're going for. And I like this asset right here. So let's delete this. Oh, and of course I deleted the wrong one. And I just want to see something like splitting this up. So maybe a really basic parking lot through here. And then honestly, that right there works. And then right here, we could have just a nice little park. Give me something super basic, really anything that'll fit. Yeah, something like that. It helps make the area feel a bit more alive. And then on this side, we have our medical clinic right there. So let's, I guess we really only have room for smaller buildings here. So let's change our lot depth to 2. Yeah, I kind of like that. I think that's fine. And then back here, can we just toss some sort of little park? And I'm going to click play for now. Before I do, we've added 241 households, essentially nothing. Budget crashing, heart pounding. Let's go with what we need next, which is some office. I can see one of these on the corner. And then does this shrink in size? Tell me it does. Yes, that looks nice. A little bit of variation there. And it does have a height difference too. I don't know how much I want to have the same building repeating, but maybe we'll keep it for now. I think it needs a better color. This is the color I want. So let's paint this on here. There we go. Yeah, that's just such a better color. Kind of feels like it'll actually fit into this area. How many jobs does that add? Not that many. Not that many. Oh, there's the asset in work. There we go. Oh, I love it. It's so nice. Like, I would love to live here, and that's what I see when I walk out my door. That'd be awesome. I'd be at this park all the time. I just realized we don't have any parking, so the people that work here would either have to walk, transit, and I don't think that's the greatest solution. To be specific, I don't think that's the greatest solution for this clearly American city. It's obviously the best solution, but if we're being realistic, it's probably not going to happen. Do something like this back here. And then we can just flatten this area just a little bit. And then just add a little pocket park right here. Yeah, that'll do the trick for now. And do these buildings, I would assume these buildings have underground parking, but it doesn't seem like they do. So let's get a parking road through here as well. Let's get some commercial buildings in here. So lot depth of 2, and we'll take pretty much anything that's high. That's not too bad. Maybe place one right there. So maybe we shrink down right here and go a bit more basic. I think something like this right here, it definitely needs a bit of detailing to make it look better, but it doesn't stick out too much. Okay, let's add maybe some more high residential. This time we'll take the lot depth check off. Imagine we could have this building right about here. I wonder, are these wall-to-wall buildings? No, they're not, but if you push them together, they probably can be. Yeah, they can. And right here, can we have something pretty big? And this is a bit more substantial than I'd like it to be, but I do kind of like it. It's just a pretty, I don't know, like, it's big. It's wide, it's long. It's like this building, but on steroids and a lot more modern. And these buildings have garages, so these should be fine. These ones, I would expect some sort of parking, I guess. Yeah, it's not too bad. And as always, can we get some pocket parks in here? I think we can. Oh, we can. Something like that. And then over here, something like that. Yeah, not the greatest design. I think as we get closer to here, I want to taper down. And I kind of like that. It's a bit repetitive, but you know what? I don't think it's all that bad. The only problem is these that definitely don't have parking. I feel like we'd have to have parking in. I'm wondering, is there a parking lot that would just fit naturally in here? This one fits naturally. Honestly, I think this is a great fit. For these 6 apartment buildings, I definitely think we could add this parking lot in. Actually, you know what? I don't think that's the right parking lot. I think we'd need one like this. In fact, I think we should take our park space, kind of get rid of this path for now, and just add in this parking lot. Because, I mean, come on. We already have all this extra space right here. I do think it makes perfect sense to add in this parking lot. but we're gonna save that for later. So in the meantime, we will add a parking lot here though. Maybe, well, we're getting closer to a park again, and I wanna make sure that our densities is kind of tapered up when we're at our park. I'd like that this points towards this area and kind of towards the park, and it doesn't feel so boxy. What about the exact same thing on the other side? I kind of like that. I really, really kind of like that, because then you have this walking space in between, and it just feels right. Maybe take a very far look at this, but yeah, I think that feels right, and I would be excited to do that. This area right here would be pretty ripe for some type of commercial, and I'd want it to be high, but not too high. Lot depth of 2, and that really just gives us this. I think if we place a slightly higher one, kind of right in the middle, and then over here, just place a slightly smaller one, and then just completely shake it up with something completely different, I think that does look nice. And maybe we can put some pocket parks in here. And then before I walk away, this kind of transition between pavement and surface is really jarring to me. So I find it hard to walk away before I place trees or something. Really, anything will do. Typically, I'll go with some baby birches. Yeah, it's still a bit rough. Maybe a young oak here. Place some here as well. Maybe one right there. And then just some bushes along here to finish this little area off. Yeah, I think that's nice. I like that. And while I'm over here, honestly, I might as well just add one of these in here. I really, really like the way this is coming along. Like, I really like this. It might look a bit jarring with the suburbs right across from it, but I still feel like it's coming along in a very natural way. I think the most craziest out of place thing is this fountain, but I love it. And I can't help but place it when I have money, so it's staying forever. So we'd have a bit more density along here, and then we definitely start tapering down along here. And here, here I'd probably just see pretty much more of the same thing. Maybe some smaller row homes, or maybe some medium density. Probably medium density along here instead. But I will get this little area right here. And again, we're getting further away from our fountain, kind of our center. So we'll taper down just a bit. I know I need to add more office in. I definitely think we get away with one of these, and maybe one of these. The only thing is, if I was gonna put this here, I'd want to see it on an angle just to reduce that boxiness. And yeah, I think that looks pretty good. And then this is really taper down time. And I guess some gentle tapering would be some of these commercial buildings. And I don't want to go too high here either. So here's my thought. Let's just disable snapping and place a few of these along here. And I was working over here, but then I seen this office building and I do like it. So I'll place this one here. I think that right there should work, and that should still give enough room for the bus station. Really, the biggest thing it's doing is making sure we have enough kind of jobs for our residents. Right now, it looks like we have just a bit more, which is kind of my goal here. I want to make sure this area is like the favorite child. You know, every parent says they don't have their favorite child, but they do. They have one child that like just slightly more than the other. And this is going to be that child for Ashland. It's going to get the special treatment. I mean, it already has better surfaces than a lot of the other parts of Ashland. All we're really missing is like an incinerator up here somewhere, just so it could easily service the garbage. And then you know it's really the favorite child. What's going on over here? A bit of traffic. Yeah, that's fine. I kind of expected it. I would say the traffic here is a bit unexpected. I'm surprised to see everyone wanting to turn in here. And I think just to finish this area off, it's going to be more of the lower density buildings. And I think there might be an opportunity for this building. So if we place one here, place one right there, and then just move it. And then let's copy and paste that color on there. And yeah, I think that's pretty nice. Okay, and then for right here, and then I tilted this just a bit. It doesn't make sense, but I guess you could have a view of the water, so that'd be pretty nice. But you wouldn't have the view of the park. But I just think it looks a bit nicer. It makes it feel a bit more chaotic and unclean. which I think looks nicer. When things are too, if it looks just like this, constantly everywhere, it starts to like, it just looks awful. At least me personally. And then right here, honestly, I don't know what we're gonna have on here. This is kind of a really important road, so I want to be very careful. What would pop up for northeastern low density business if I just zone it in? Yeah, and I think this is actually pretty good. As long as it stays like this forever, I don't have a problem with it. These ones can level up, I don't mind. These ones I want to lock, and I'll lock these ones as well, just to make sure there's variation. And I think that looks really, really, really good. Like I like the way this is shaping up a lot. Now, last two plots are going to be these ones right here. Again, I mostly just want to do the exact same thing that's happened already over here, just on this side. Okay, then I quickly zoned off this area. Nothing crazy. Some commercial here, some row homes along all of these, and a little parking lot right here, and a little path right here. I think we're pretty much ready to move on to detailing. So I think the best way to do this, to have this nice fountain plaza, is to have just a bunch of green space all around it. And so probably have some grass surfaces along here, so a few bushes, some trees, but not too dense. And then for the rest of the area, this could be a plaza right here. It could be nice and simple, have a nice little walking through kind of trail, have a few benches. Same thing along here, maybe a park in between here. We'll see what that looks like. And I'm gonna get started. Alright, and that's going to do it for our detailing, so let's quickly go over what I did. For right here, I really just added trees. I didn't do anything too crazy. I stretched out some of these surfaces, fixed some of them that didn't make sense, added in a few pocket parks, and over here is what I'd probably consider the smoker's corner. There's a few of them that I've placed all over. It's typically what I'll use when I don't know how to fill in the space. It just makes sense to me. Let's see. Over here, added a nice little walkable path. Added some, I don't know. I really like this surface. I think it's called the G87 British Inspired 04. I love it. I think it's such a clean surface. Again, stretched it out. Added a few fountains over here along with a few trees. I didn't do anything here. I must have forgot that, so let's ignore that for now. Over here, I wanted to have a surface that matched the building just to have contrast to the other building. And I kind of love the way this surface turned out. I think it came out really nice and clean. Again, added a few people in just to, I don't know, make it feel a bit more alive. And then over here, pretty much the same, just some trees. I guess I added this little kind of spot back here where you get food. And then this is kind of like 3 giant business buildings, so didn't do anything too crazy here. Again, nothing that crazy here. There wasn't really all that much crazy stuff happening, I have to say. Over here, I added some students on top of this roof, put them inside the playground. It was extremely difficult because you can only rotate them when they're not snapping to the top of an object. So right now I couldn't rotate them if I tried. If I come down here though, I can rotate them all I want. So I'd have to rotate them the way I want, turn this back on, and then come up here to place them. So I didn't really go as hard as I would have liked to. I would have loved to see this kind of roof, just tons of students everywhere. But yeah, I'm not doing that. I've never actually looked in between this building. This is actually really cool. Although, are these just a bunch of homeless people? Yeah, they are. Oh wow, this is like a secret encampment for homeless people. How many homeless people do we have? 725? Wow. It's actually surprising. I think it's the highest we've had in a long time. And then over here, right here, I didn't do anything. I mean, I added in all these trees just to give some green space. Again, not too much here. A few benches, a gazebo, and just some green pretty much all over. I don't know how much I like the way this area feels though. I don't think I did it too well. I like a lot of green. I like a lot of trees. I think it makes an area much better. Over here, this is a little residential area. We have a nice little playground, nice little pocket park, and that's it right here. Just keeping it simple. And over here, we have a path right through, connects these two, and trees. So let's jump into a quick before and after. Alright, and that's a wrap. At the end of the last part, there was a bit of a thunderstorm happening outside. Not sure if you could hear the booms, but sorry for that. Either way, I'm really excited with how this area turned out, except for a few places. I think the Fountain Plaza needs just a bit more love, and that commercial area with all of the bushes is just a bit too dense. Either way though, the goal is to build this up into a big dense area over time, and I'd love to know what you think. I genuinely do try to take in as much feedback as possible and apply it. As always though, big shout out to our Patreon members, Ganger, Shant, Griffin, and Nicholas Fonseca. If you want to check out Ashland for yourself, or you just want to help support the channel, head over to Patreon. If you haven't already, a like, comment, and subscription really go a long way. And other than that, I'll see you in the next one.